Geochemistry.
Tutorial 1. Welding and outgassing filaments. Starring Melania McQuay, PhD student. Grant DeKukuk, PhD student. And Daniel Duran, undergrad researcher. And introducing Hedy Lamar, Triton plus TIMS. And George Benson, Triton XT. Once you have made 2 boxes, it's time to outgas. Turn on the wall outlet and the power on the back of the outgasser. This is a green button that's a lot like on an old computer. You see the outgasser turns on. Now open the outgasser housing and remove the cable if that's not already done. Push the pins on each side and gently pull out the filament manifold, placing it into the holder made of metal. That is right here. Push in the pins on either side and that will hold the filament manifold in place. Now, it is quite simple. Simply place the filaments one by one into the manifold and make sure to press down all the way quite firmly. It's pretty tough, so you have to push quite hard. You need a full row of filaments in order for the machine to work. You can put up to 2 rows. Here in this video, we just filled one side, but you can also fill the other side such that you can do 2 boxes at once. Now, put the filament manifold back into the outgasser and push the 2 buttons on each side to lock it into place. Do this carefully as there are dangly bits and you don't want to break any of the fragile components on the filament manifold. These buttons, by the way, are finicky, so it might take more than one try, especially when you're trying to undo them. Now, place the multi-pin cord into the socket on the back of the filament manifold. You can find this with your finger, and this is just like an old computer as well. Screw in each side of the cable. This will now power the filament manifold so that it can run current through the filaments you've put in, which is the basis of outgassing them. Now close the lid and make sure that the cable is not in the way. You might have to move it a little bit. Now you'll want to turn on the pumps. You do this by pressing the pumps on button. This will start the vacuum pumps, and you should be able to hear that they've turned on. Now, before you can start the sequence, you have to wait for the vacuum to reach the target value. This is around 5 e to the minus 7. This is a diagram of the heating procedure, and this varies from place to place. The general rule is that you want to at least heat to the maximum value you use in the thermal ionization mass spectrometer for a good half an hour. But this really does vary from place to place and depends on the thickness of the filaments. When the sequence is finished, press the venting button to release the vacuum. If that does not work, which it often doesn't in our lab, you will have to turn off the power in the back on the machine and then on the wall. In order for the venting to complete, this takes a little while. You might want to come back in half an hour to an hour. During that time, clean the filament box, which you will now put your clean and outgassed filaments into. Use ethanol and a Kim wipe. Now push the side pins to remove the filament manifold from the outgasser. Do this gently as possible. And remember, it does take a few tries to get those pins to release. Place it in the manifold holder and push the pins into place. Step 3. Use needle nose pliers to carefully remove the outgassed filaments. It's a little bit difficult, so you'll have to hold down the manifold. Take the filaments and place them one by one into the box you have just cleaned. Once this is done, close the box and wipe off any label that might be on it. Once it is clean, place a new label, including the date that the filaments were outgassed, the type of metal that the filaments are made of, in this case rhenium, and the initials of the operator. And here is what a outgassed filament box looks like. Now go and put it in the lower right shelf where you'll see outgassed DBL, which stands for double filaments. Final step, put the filament manifold carefully back into the outgasser and click the two buttons into place. These are easier to click in than they are to click out. Close the lid, and voila! You have now successfully created your first box of filaments and outgassed them. Happy TIMSing!